Okay, so let's just make it easy and just do this. My name is Joseph Chartier Warren. I've been seeing all these videos about different things, but I'm gonna just do my own little thing and give away all this information for free to you. So we're gonna start off where I know. So let's check this out about the birth certificate. Let's say the main thing that I would say people need to know is how that starts whenever you were born. Your mother went into a foundling. That's what they call a hospital and a place where you can take a baby and give it up with no repercussions. And whenever she was in there giving birth to a baby, being birthed into this world, all word maritime law, water terms, being birthed. Well, anyway, they come in with a piece of paper and say, "Here, sign right here. Give your baby a name." And your mom said, "Okay," and she signed on the informant line, not knowing it was the informant line, but she was, under drugs or whatever, stress, just had a baby and all this. Well, they keep the placenta that comes out after the baby comes out is a corpse, so they create a corpsoration out of it. And if you look right here, I can show you on the on my birth certificate I have right here. They create this. You have a birthday and then a birth day. My birthday is the top date, and then they have a birth day. That's the day they registered the placenta as a corpse oration in the all caps name at the top of this share certificate right here. This is a stop certificate. Now, on that date down here, the second birthday, they license, bond, and insure it for 1.1 million or a million or something, whatever they licensed, bond, and insure for. And on his eighth birthday, they declared dead and lost at sea. And now this is called, you are supposed to come in and claim your trust when you become the age of majority. But until you claim it, there's three employees on the vessel, and the sea, your vessel is lost at sea on its eighth birthday. So on this second birthday on here, 8 years later, they declared dead and lost at sea. So what do? They collect the insurance money that they bonded and licensed it for, and they put it into a trust account in your all caps name. Now the all caps name is actually your estate. It's not a straw man, it's not nothing like that. It's a state. It's a public operating utility. So you can operate in the public. Like, so if you go to get lights and they're a public utility, what do they need from you? The operating to be a public operating utility. So you will get into a contract with them to allow them to use your operating to become a public operating utility. And anyway, besides that, so now on this eighth birthday, they declare the vessel dead and lost at sea. It's got three employees. There's 666. Now, when you become the age of majority and you claim your vessel, your minor estate trust, you turn them into EINs, and then they become nines. Now they're above the deck. They're breathing again because they're not in the water, underwater. So this is just a minor situation, that one of the things that got us into this whole situation, because you don't know who you are. So therefore, whenever they named your estate YOU, your estate's name is YOU. If you write YOU out, it says I/OU. That's the debtor. That's the one who collects all the debts of everything that's coming in. So whenever you go to purchase something, or you go to acquire something, an automobile or something, this is a whole nother lesson, but they teach you wrong about this too. It's another thing. But when you become the age of majority and you take ownership and you become the the fiduciary of the vessel, the beneficiary of the trust or whatever, you will become it's called a minor estate trust, Cesta QV trust. And until you take over that minor estate trust, you're considered a minor. That's why they hold you accountable for anything in court, because you're still a minor, whether you're 90 years old or not, if you haven't taken over the trust. So, anyway, that's just one thing. So, I'm to say the biggest part of this whole thing for me was becoming a state national, because it started off, the judge told me in court, he said, "Ignorance of the law is not our fault, Mr. Warren." And I was like, damn, you're right. It hurt my feelings, made me feel some kind of way, whatever. But I went and learned that if I walked out into the parking lot and it was you and somebody else out there, and I said, "You owe me $50," you ain't gonna look next to you and say, "You owe him $50." They're gonna look at you and say, "You owe him $50." You ain't gonna look at yourself like you owe him $50. So why the hell in court do they say your name and your address? Is this you? And we say, yes, that's me. It's not you. But that's crazy how they do that. So now we're moving into the courts. So the court says the law, the courts aren't lawful. They're legal. They speak legalese. So when you look at law, it's land, air, and water. The water law is where the courts reside. That's why the judge is up on a higher ship. That's why the living man can't talk in court because you're in hot water. Can't talk with water in your mouth. The judge is up on a ship. He's got two flags behind him. What are they? Captured flags. This right here behind me is the peace flag, the United States of America peace flag. So they have two flags, the state flag and the United States war flag that they tricked us to pledge allegiance to in school and the republic. So I'm a South Carolinian national of the Republic of the United States of America. So America, you have two sides to everything. You have the state of South Carolina, which is a district of the District of Columbia, which is a corporation, fake dead entity overlay. It's a district, and then you have South Carolina state, the territory. So if you was born in South Carolina, where I'm from, you're a South Carolinian. That's your nationality. So I'm a South Carolinian national. So see what I'm saying? So everybody, if you're born in New York, you're a New Yorkian. And I got the code. I got the code and everything for that. I got all this printout. I got so much documentation. Everything I'm saying to you today, y'all can back up. No matter what it is. You ask me, I got documentation, proof. I got all kinds of stuff here. Anyway, so law is land, air, and water. The courts reside in the common law, or common law at the bottom, and that's called contract law. On the land, that's called you register like what's so you got canon law, contract law, and commerce and commercial law. So everything in the water world works off of UCC code, Uniform Commercial Code, and that would be the UCC book right here. I have a UCC book right here in the Black's Law Dictionary, first edition, Black's Law Dictionary, fifth edition, and the Post Office Manual. So like these are the main things that I started learning. I never learned the law. Like I've been to prison before, then things the judges. I'm 14. Like this is what I was in court for driving under suspension. This really what got it going. 14th time habitual offender. I'm like I don't need a driver's license to travel. So jurisdiction is what it comes down to. Juris and diction. Juris is the rights and diction is words. So it's the right word. They say you driving a motor vehicle. No, I'm traveling in my automobile. And then so that's the jurisdiction, right? But it's a lot of little trickeries to this because you can't travel in a private automobile that's already been registered with the state because it belongs to them. The same thing that your mother did on the birth certificate. That's why they put you in a maternity ward. She awarded you to the state. And then they took you home, your mom and dad, the parents took you home. Guess what that is? A pair of renters is what the parents are. So they've been renting the kid from the state the whole time. Now, the whole time this is going on, this trust account sitting here, and you think it's called a social security trust. It's not really it's more of a it's a trust account. Either way, it's set up for you to benefit for you to be able to use. Think about Monopoly. When you first start Monopoly, they pass you out all this money, right? To start the game with. You don't start the game with nothing. So that's the whole thing that you get into this game with Monopoly. And it's all kind of goes back to Monopoly if you look at it, because Federal Reserve notes are notes. That's it. They're promissory notes. They're actually a promise to pay later. They're a debt note. You can never pay debt with more debt. You're just legally tendering it to the next time. So you actually can only use interest to discharge debt, or either to purchase the interest or the equity, which is something I'll get into later on in the class. But for this first thing I'm trying to get through to you is how all this came about. So if you really, really look into, if you go back and look at it, I got a thing right here that tells you about the birth certificate, and it's from Minnesota Rule 211 or 223 or something like that. But um, but anyway, it's two. I'll show it next time. This is just to get me started video because I'm tired of saying I'm gonna do it and I never do it. So what it comes down to is you you got to know who you are. So I'm not. I done been in court recently and stood up on this. The police done come and pulled me out my damn car, out my car, my driveway, in front of my family, my son and all them, took me to jail, and the whole way I'm telling them all kind of stuff about the law and this and that. I was like, bro, do you realize that you just kidnapped the CEO of a federally backed private bank? And then he's laughing at me. I said, you're a bank robber, laughing at me. We get all the way to the jailhouse going into Sallyport, and he gets a call and has to take me all the way back home 2.5 hours later. Never heard of that happening. But other things happen in court that I've stood on too. So I'm in court. This is all kind of recent stuff too now. So if you go into court and you don't have your trust in hand, because trust is the highest of the law, that's land, air, and water. Air being the highest, land being contract, and then on the water, everything is commerce or commercial. So if you don't go into court with a trust in hand, saying you the fiduciary and the beneficiary, then the judge will implement a trust and make him the fiduciary. The DA will be the the beneficiary, and then you will be the trustee. And since you don't know what's going on, you get punished and then you get held accountable, and your body is held for a surety of the bond. Now, when you go into court for the first appearance, the court is a bank. All courts are banks, nothing else. But they're also corporations. Every court has a Dun and Bradstreet number. Like I said, there's two sides to everything. Every county. If you live in where I live, Orangeburg County, then you have the county of Orangeburg. So there are two sides to everything. That's what you got to know, because that's where they try to flip it. Like there's some. So if they try to violate your rights, that's called under the color of law, and it's punishable by death if there's kidnapping involved, but it's actually punishable by other things. But the courts are nothing more than a corporation, and they go by corporate bylaw, UCC. That's why a ticket is a UTT, a uniform traffic ticket, because they go by a uniform commercial code unless you give them the consent under the doctrine of parents patriae, you too incompetent to handle your own affairs. So what do? They step in for you. The courts are nothing more than a bank, and they use bonds and securities. And they so when you come in, you go in your first appearance in court, they do a bid bond. That's a SF 273 and a SF 73, one state and one's federal. And then if next time you come to second appearance, they do a SF 74 or SF 274, state and federal, and those are performance bond. Now, when you get sentenced or you take a plea or whatever happens, they do a performance. They do a wire transfer basically, and that is a SS 275 or SF 75, and they take that directly from your Cesta QV Trust account directly, and everything you've ever signed your signature on, because you don't want to ever put a blank endorsement on anything. A blank endorsement would be signature only, because as soon as you do, somebody, the bank, whoever, they stamp it without recourse, pay to the order of um, um, buy with a line, and then that line has the whoever's gonna sign for the corporation, and that's the CFO or whoever. Like this stamp right here. So it'd be like this one right here, or like this one right here. You see, without recourse, pay to the order of stamping it with that, or either like. So I got this accepted too. So whenever you get something and you accept it, because you need to accept everything, but also, this is another thing is I have this raised seal from my Nation of Warren. So I'm the nation. I have the Nation of Warren, and I have a gold raised seal. There's no gold and silver backing this damn currency. It's not even money. Federal Reserve notes are not money. They're currency. Money can only be silver and gold coinage. And I got anything I'm telling you right now is in the law book, and I could tell you the code, whatever. Next time, this is it to get me started. So this next video, I'm gonna kind of break it down and just go step by step. I'm gonna start from the beginning, I think, and then I'm gonna show my affidavit of repudiation and things I did and different things that I got here in front of me, like I got things from the department, the State Department right here. So this right here is what I sent in. Is the thing I got back whenever I sent in my affidavit of repudiation with my passport DS11 to get this. So I'm not a U.S. citizen, right? And it says business description, commerce grantor, private, public signatory, business name, DBA, Joseph Chartier Warren, and Warren Joseph Chartier, and Chartier Warren, Joseph Warren, blah, 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 and all other derivatives thereof in any way related to the estate or private business so named. Physical post office address, and it's my address because every mailbox is a post office, and you should make yourself the postmaster general of that post office. So now, owner information, true and real trade name, guarantee, private signatory, beneficiary, holder, transferee. And then it says first name, middle, Joseph Chartier Warren, style by criminal, and surname, post office address, and it's got where the postmaster. And then it says this certificate is to conduct business and commerce in an assumed name designed to accompany new business account registration. I am claiming the writ of habeas corpus to institute to maintain the actions of any kind in the courts of this state while maintaining true domicile on the land of these United States, to take, hold, and dispose of property, either real and intangible, or held in personal name of the foreign grantor trust, DBA Joseph Chartier Warren, all caps, together with all derivatives and names, therefore prepayment exemption from taxes, tithes, and fees, together with reconveyance all actual assets rightfully belonging to the lawful holder in due course. Under the form of creating a qualification or attaching a condition, the United States or the United States of America, however styled or construed, cannot, in effect, inflict a punishment for a past act which was not punishable at the time and it was committed and is not knowingly willing or consensual act of actual holder in due course of the given name and estate. All violators, agents, actors of color of law, and actions under the color of authority claimed by any corporation, association, subcontractor agencies, any kind of violating, attempting to violate political status and title, order of the grantee at any time past, present, or future shall be liable severely and jointly to the certificate as an affidavit of an obligation in the normal commercial sense, and as such is a severity representing accounts receivable and is a lien upon the real and movable property. Malpractice insurance and performance bonds of any such violation is not dischargeable in bankruptcy court or subject to any probate claim. At all times, an other holder in due course property is exempt from third party levy, and all related vessels in commerce and trade are tax prepaid. This shall also serve as mandatory notice required under the Foreign Sovereigns Immunity Act that the living sole owner, proprietor, holder in due course, intermediate, intermediate is a foreign sovereign owed all rights, guarantees, and protections of the Constitution for the United States of America and all assets owed to the priority creditors of the territorial United States and the municipal United States. The foreign sovereign, it got my name in lowercase, Joseph Chartier Warren, retains all rights and revision and is not subject to any conference of citizenship or other merely presumed benefit or obligation. And I have endorsed it and I put my nation seal right there. You see the Nation of Warren Trust, US JSW, South Carolinian Fiduciary. So like these is a document I received back with my passport. So anyway, I think that's probably maybe one of the most important documents I got. But to there's more things to this whole thing. So see, there's also things like this. So if you want to have documents with your royal, this is my crest to the Nation of Warren, and it's in violet because it's to the top right of the header. That means it came from royalty, right? So then the document at the end, it ends with my gold raised seal and my endorsement. So therefore, it's my document. So I don't use these people's document. I just try to use it for a template to make sure it has all the information that they say it needs. Well, so I'm just kind of letting a lot go in this first video, just kind of get it out of me, right? But it's so many different things because it's the way you sign contracts, the right. If you in the blue or the black, because you a dead entity or a corporation, in the water, blue, black, dead, you sign over on the left bottom of the contract. If you living man, you sign to the right in red. If all that comes together, blue, red, and black, what do they make? Violet in the center. That's where the beneficiary signs. So that's what you want to be, the beneficiary, because you should be benefiting from everything that's going on. And see, this they don't tell you this, but they also they I tell people all the time, they give you two roads. They say, oh yeah, you got two roads. Here goes the road to crap. Here goes the road to shit. And you choose crap because it's better than shit, but not knowing that behind that bush right here in the middle was the road to freedom and knowledge. All you had to do was a little reading, because libre means freedom and it means book in Latin. So liberty, library, made me think, kind of made, hey, you need to damn read to figure out something. And that's the truth, because nobody gonna tell you this information. Nobody told me any of this information. I have researched it for myself, and I stand on what I say, and I can prove it. None of this is stuff I'm making up, and I got documentation and all kind of stuff to prove all of this. But but anyway, to come back to this, I've had little wins here and there. Got a lot more information. It's just this little short video I wanted to make to let people know where I stand, because I'm narrowed down on the banking, the trust, and on the creditor side, the debtor side, how this kind of works with your savings account, the escrow account under GAAP, generally accepted accounting principles. Everybody should be just keeping their own books. Every time a deposit goes in, a credit is created. Also, I got different information about, I mean, unlimited information. This is just the beginning. Just to let you know, I just want to get this started on my channel to let everybody know what I was about to do. So I know I'm a little all over the place right now with this. So just don't worry, I'm gonna narrow it down. I'm gonna get a little bit cleaner, and then I'm gonna kind of walk. My next video is gonna be my coming into of what I think should be your first step if you're trying to be a national, or if you're trying to be this, and also documentation that I got that shows that you're national and different things. I mean, I got I got so much documentation, it's just crazy. You see all this right there, binder. That whole thing down there is slapped full of damn books separated from each thing. That up there is my Black's Law Dictionary. I got the Constitution on the wall. I got all these documents right here on my bed. I ain't even showed you yet. So this goes deep. I've been doing this for about the last 6 years, and I done been to prison. I done been held accountable. They done put me in prison for nothing really, for something I should have went to jail for. Because if there is no injured party, there is no crime. And in your passport, if you look at my first page um, of my South Carolina national page we're on right now, you check out passport right here. This is my passport book, so it's got my passport in it and stuff. But I got this for myself. But if you look on the first page, what does it say? But this right here on that page right here, it says the Secretary of the State of the United States of America hereby requests all whom it may concern to permit the citizen / national, that's a distinction between the two, of the United States named herein to pass without delay or hindrance, and in case of need to give all lawful aid and protection. Now, there's a difference of a national and a citizen. Only people who can be citizens are domiciled in the District of Columbia. Where is the District of Columbia located? No one really knows, but it's a 10-mile radius in the District of Columbia. So if your zip code doesn't have a dash with the 4 at the end or parentheses around it, then you are domiciled in the District of Columbia. You're a resident where you live. That means someone there temporarily doing business. That's what you're doing there. So, all of these words come back. That's really what it means. So if they ever ask you any more questions, I'm not answering questions. The king don't answer questions. That's why I'm asking. ASKING, as the king, as king, as the king. So when you answer questions, you're not in your you out of your jurisdiction. Now they got jurisdiction over you. Same thing as if you in court and they say all rise. Believe me, I done it. I was nervous, and guess what happened when they said all right? Didn't stand up. What happened? Judge say you got a medical problem? No, sir. You need to stand up? No, sir. I'm not a 14th Amendment citizen. I'm a South Carolina national of the United States of America. I'm not standing up. And he walked right back out the door. He came in, never came back that day. Everything I love. That's it. There's more, got more wins like that too that's happened over this past thing. But as we get into this a little bit deeper and I start making more videos, you'll see, because I'm gonna start getting a little cleaner. But I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna just probably do it in probably like the national thing, and then the banking thing, and then because the banks don't loan money. Period. It's illegal. It's unlawful for them to loan money. They borrow money and they buy securities. All banks. So they're doing nothing but using your money, and they're walking off you because we don't know that we're doing a blank endorsement when we should be doing a full endorsement. And you should let them know who you are, because the estate can't read or write. It's a dead thing. It's a dead entity. A person, you don't want to be a citizen, a person, or a resident, because you need CPR. You're dead in the water, right? So you don't want to be an individual. You don't want to be none of that. You are the living soul. That's why when you come out your mama as a baby, they took your footprint. It's called a soul plate. That's how they identify the man with the sole of your foot. It's all these crazy words like this. That's why the Department of Motor Vehicles is not nothing but a corporation, and you become an employee. The police are not even the law. They are policy holders. That's why you put a hyphen above the E is policy. If there was the law, it'd say lawman. That's why. But if you think about when you go to the DMV, you've never been to a motor vehicle dealership. It's an automobile dealership. So me myself, I don't have a driver license account no more. I don't have a driver license no more. I have a private traveler DOT number. But like I said, I'm gonna clean it up a little bit for y'all and make it a little more understandable and not so all over the place because I know it's kind of hard. But I just had to get this first video out there just because I've been saying it. I just had to do it. Just get it out there. All right, thank you. Look forward to seeing y'all seeing more of this and me cleaning it up for you so you can actually understand what the hell I'm saying, right? Because people tell me, I just want a little sip of water, and then everybody around me is like, oh, you be opening the whole fire hydrant, bro. Like, don't you ain't got to do all that? And I'm like, it ain't even like that. That's not how. I don't mean to do that. I just got so much information. But anyway, so all right. Well, y'all have a good night and see you next time.